This is We Act Radio, sponsored by Credo Mobile. I'm here with Rashad from Color of Change. Please, Rashad, tell us what's going on.
Well, what's going on right now is that folks are demonstrating. They're standing up for their rights. They're reacting to what's been happening over the last week. And this is sort of a moment for people to let out some steam, for people to be able to actually protest, be able to actually exercise their constitutional rights.
Okay, if you could give us an idea of what the mood has been like today.
Well, I think the mood has been a mix of up and down. I think coming off of last night, people felt like they really had an opportunity to express themselves. From what I heard, coming out of last night, that it felt like sort of a much different, a sort of a sea change in terms of what they've been seeing the couple of days before. Make no mistake, people want justice, right? And so even if people have sort of calmed down some and certainly are not sort of being confronted by sort of the militarized police force, they're still focused on justice. Tonight, it's a mix of what we saw last night, but also an understanding that what we continue to see from the local law enforcement lets us know that they are not ready for prime time, that they will continue to pull every trick in the book to ensure that justice is not served. And we must remain and continue to remain vigilant in terms of keeping the pressure on to ensure that, we can't let the prosecutor railroad this, we can't let the police force railroad this. We have to push so justice is served.
Okay. So I know you listened to the chief of police earlier in his comments. How'd you feel about that?
I think the chief of police is, setting himself up for his retirement plan. He is not ready for prime time in any way, shape, or form. The national spotlight is on Ferguson, and he continues to prove each time he opens his mouth that he simply is not up for the task at hand. It's exactly why at Color of Change, we're urging the federal government to get involved, to ensure that Eric Holder and Obama, they've already stepped in. They've already sort of done a number of things, but to continue to keep the pressure on in terms of their investigation, in terms of taking over what's happening here from the local folks. And so people can go to colorofchange.org for more information.
Okay.
They can also text justice to 225568. They can text justice to 225568.
Okay, so you think Obama and Holder have said enough, or do they need to go further in what they've done?
I think that they've said some stuff, right? And they've said the right things, but there's more work to be done, right? We've gotten the first step. It was big for the president to come out and say what he said. What we're looking for now is a sense of action, a sense of change. Right now we have a prosecutor in this city that has defending the police, and this is the same prosecutor that is going to have to look at the evidence and determine whether or not the police need to be prosecuted, and he's already out defending the police department. So in terms of what we need from the federal government, I continue to say this over and over again. It was the federal government that had to step in and walk black students into the schools. It was the federal government that had to open up voting booths when local and state officials kept them closed to black folks. And over again, at each phase in American history, when local and state officials do not stand up for civil rights, do not stand up for equal rights, it is our federal government that has to step in. It's the reason why we have a federal government in this country.
We appreciate your comments. If you could give us that number one more time.
Folks can text justice, the word justice, to 225568. That's justice to 225568. And I want to thank the We Act community for always standing with Color of Change and continue to elevate the work that we do. Thank you all.
Definitely, we appreciate it. Thank you for coming on.
All right, thanks.
Hands up.
Don't shoot.
I do. Where St. Louis? Where you from?
DC. DC.